Hello. What's up, guys? Ammo, thank you for becoming a member, dude. I appreciate it. Why is the ticker halted? Fucking crime? Have you read Dunstan DD? What do you think? I have not yet. Um, so no opinion yet. Where is it? Is it is it on the Discord? That was some god tier DD. I know. All my 510 homies whack off hard. What's up, Cool Daddy? Can't believe how hard you've been working. Thanks. I had time this weekend. I didn't sleep, but I had time. So, with regards to NVI indicators on TradingView, how do you know which programmer did it correctly? H Potter's NVI looks like the one you got turning off HK, but Evergret's looks way different. There's a volume index indicator that's just built into TradingView that's reliable as well. And you can also just check the methodology against the supporting formula for the oscillator and just make sure it's right. DD for week of 221 and OPEX. Oh, yeah, that's the one. Thanks, Han. Has Roland become your Sith apprentice yet? No. Need to. Thank you so much for becoming a Dillionaire, man. I appreciate it. Hit me up on the Discord. I'll get you added to the country club after the stream. No, you didn't miss a bunch. I just started like 2 minutes ago, Willie. Thanks, Knight. High confidence. The highest confidence is no move at all, right? Elon, thank you, man. Appreciate it. Can't stop, won't stop, GameStop. Is there a valid argument to buying the hardcover of options as a strategic investment or finding a PDF online? I mean, if you buy the hardcover version, you can use it to bludgeon your enemies, counterweight an engine lift, or as like a door stopper for a large set of cast iron doors. Hey Gerg, I'm still reading your DD. Cool, man. Yeah, get back. No worries. Take your time. It's the Melvin Short piece that we can't verify. Is Melvin short? Is that the question, Dunstan? I think their losses would indicate that they're continuing to sustain a short position somewhere. I don't know if it's GameStop, but I would imagine it's GameStop. Probably paying the overnight borrow rate on all those short shares for the last fucking year. Good reason not to drive the borrow rate up, right? Did you see stuff that happened in the German market? Tradegate when Putin gave his speech. We're down over 5.6% on the DAX. Jesus Christ. 5.6 56 560 basis points? Yeah. 5 points. Yeah. So 506. Jesus fucking Christ. What the fuck did he say? Is he invading Germany now? What's up with the shids margin call? Oh, I'm tired of their bullshit. They're all like flocking to their fucking whack job of a leader. Not dealing with anymore. High confidence equals high energy. Yeah. Thanks for everything you do. Thank you, Storm. I appreciate it. DJ Cool Daddy? He's just Cool Daddy. Chetta, thank you so much for becoming a Dillionaire, man. And you too as well, Kevin. Thank you guys so much. Hit me up on the Discord after the stream and I'll get you added. PP poo poo to you too, Carl. Really appreciate your post today and the work you put in. Thank you, Regards, Geeky. You're muted in the Discord. Oh shit. I'm sorry, Discord people. Don't worry. All I've done is read out new members and tell Stefan how to use an indicator. Can we get this rolling on the Discord too? Yeah, it's on the Discord. It's audio's live. I had it muted. What's up, PJ? You swing the graph on Discord with the overall short interest versus price and time. Short interest versus price and time. Like you've described this in a very strange manner. Can you be a little more specific? I have a lot of screenshots. Chaku. Howdy, Pickle Man. Thanks, Harley. Appreciate it, man. No, I opened up the DD. The Dillionaires that tried to piece together what Melvin's short position was hidden in variant swaps and how much of that could have been covered. Wouldn't it be total return swaps? I don't know if you can hide a short position in a variant swap. I mean, you could offset the risk of the short position with variant swaps, but I think you would want a forward contract like a total return swap. Beautiful DD. Shill. Let's fucking go. Thank you, JC. Is way longer. It fucking tanked. Well, let's hope GameStopper can resist the fucking overall market. I mean, it's a bear case. I don't understand how a stagnant market would view conflict as a negative. At least not in the US. Conflict drives growth and liquidity. And our market's illiquid as fuck right now. Liquidity is being purged out of it. Regards to identifying Wyckoff, is it for sure Wyckoff when volume is decreasing while price is staying ranged, volume increasing? Are you referring to accumulation or distribution? I don't really want to go into it. Didn't I link the methodology behind Wyckoff already? I'll get to it later, man. If you've got like a specific question on it, I'll get back to you. Your locks of beauty are showing. Will there be a perm due with frosted tips? No. The darkest hour comes before the brightest dawn. Here's the next chapter where attendees rain down from the heavens. Thanks for all you do, Pi-Fi. Let's fucking go. Thanks, Trey. Greetings, basically, Russia thinks USSR countries should be Russia and recognizes the independence of rebel cities. So basically, Russia and Ukraine doing a Spider-Man pointing meme of who's invading. Okay. So just more posturing? Considering World War III, would you enter tomorrow at open or wait? I mean, I don't know. I think you have to go beyond that and assess like the entirety of the situation. Why didn't Putin just invade already? Right? Like, is there any guys fucking troops there? You know, why all the grandstanding, right? Like this isn't how war is done. You just fucking invade. And so, you know, global economies are still reeling from COVID, and you know, if a conflict can be driven to realization in the Ukraine, there's, you know, massive benefit for all countries involved except the Ukraine. Um, so yeah, it's shitty. I mean, at the cost of probably hundreds of thousands or millions of lives, but you know, thanks. It's Hammer Time, Birch. I'm thinking short-term panic and fear, plus energy price increases, plus dropping exports from Ukraine and Russia, all leading to a bear case until we start the bull America run. Yeah, so downturn into a correction. Fuck, that's risky right now. We may see the Fed pull stops in response, extend easing. Um, with volatility the way it is right now, correction's risky. Really risky. Maybe you linked it. Maybe it's new to me. Just trying to learn. Okay, no worries. I'll Carl linked it up above, Stefan. Thanks to the killer DD. You got it, Herba. I heard Kenny donated for you to do cherry curls. What are your thoughts on the potential of roll, fail cycles on the quarterlies? It's interesting. Obviously if that part of the pattern continues to repeat itself, right? Like if we rock it up to 350 and then have repeated price actions similar to last year's, that would be very indicative, right? That would also be indicative of 6-month forwards, which are common. But we don't have enough evidence to conclude that yet. So like it's something we've discussed a lot and thought about, but you know, we would need to see this cycle experience a roll forward, and we would want to see May, June experience a roll forward, right? So he's laying, I mean, that's a little hard. What's up, X? Riku. Thanks, dude. What is a realistic estimate of total aggregated daily GME volume from the start of MOAS to the potential peak? Thanks. Fuck, man, that's a lot. Let's see. How much volume did we trade? I think this should cover it. Oh, from the start, like you're not talking about January. You're just, I have no fucking clue, man. It may not even be a high volume event, right? With all the liquidity dried up, like there's no guarantee that MOAS will be high volume. There can be a guarantee that it would be high volatility. Very different though. There's just not that many fucking shares. I mean, you're gonna have churn from options flow. So I mean, yeah, I guess volume will drive up, but like real traded shares will be likely fairly minimal. At least in the initial stages. So most of the volume you're going to see is going to be if we hit that Volga Vana squeeze, where those volatility hedges start coming in like crazy, and those positions really don't get blown up until there's no more room on the options chain. So if the price of GME exceeds the current max on the option chain, which I think is 950 right now, but it could move up as our price moves up, then it's very unlikely they would be able to continue to hedge, and so those positions would collapse. And then, you know, that's really where we start to see, you know, like a gamma squeeze occurring as those, you know, they bail on those options contracts or exercise them. And then that continues to push price movement up into a potential short squeeze. Yeah, I know. With the cares. Jean-Claude Van Damme, welcome back to Dillionaire, bro. I appreciate it, man. Um, I'll get you a song in a second. Let me just catch up with chat. 4 months of building market knowledge in my port. Thank you for everything you and everyone in this community who's put some wrinkles in my once smooth brain. You got it, dude. Not a problem. I'm sure the DOJ are watching your stream. They got the idea to use the RICO Act after hearing Pigeon Whale members requeuing in here. I'm sure I've been reported to them. Should I be buying radiation suits and iodine pill futures? Seriously though, it's hard not to feel tense at all about it at all. I mean, I think a nuclear war between the US and Russia is fucking super unlikely. Like Putin's a pretty smart guy. Mutually assured self-destruction will be more than sufficient for combating, you know, any likelihood of nuclear war. There's no advantage to Russia nuking us except to preserve their own status. And I don't think like a full scale land war between the US and Russia would occur. It's likely just going to be, you know, a lot of border fucking posturing and pushing back and forth if there is any actual conflict. And then it'll all get solved with treaties in a few years when economies stabilize. Also, Putin gets to short squeeze his biggest asset, right? He controls the energy market for Western Europe. I'm sure it'll get resolved. In the meantime, recognize the LPR and DPR. Russia can't violate Minsk agreements. It acts as a guarantor, not a party to the agreements, therefore it cannot be in violation. Interesting. Russia no longer needs to seek permission from the UK to deploy peacekeepers, its own military weapons, or humanitarian aid assistance. Huh. What exact date does the last dot on your predicted price action end on? So I can put all my money in that week. Um, I mean, that's not a great idea, but are you talking about this? This is March 10th. My only concern is the market tanks and then Jimmy follows. Yeah, it's same. It's something we have to be prepared for. We've resisted a lot of the downturn in the market over the last week, a significant amount of it. We may continue to resist it. It could affect our price performance though. Anon 69, thank you so much for becoming a Dillionaire. Let me get you guys a song real quick. How many deviations are on that massively wide VWAP on your chart? It's just a high, low, mid. Let's see. So for it's open, high, low. OHLC divided by 4. Gas is the reason Germany's tanks so hard. They're too dependent on Russian gas for heating. Winter, USA might have a much smaller relative reaction. True. Use bracket orders to place a stop loss with everything you buy. We place sell orders manually when needed. It depends on the position and the volatility of it. All my powder's soaking wet. You imagine RSS, if Jimmy starts to follow the market down, the tinfoil hats would cause an aluminum shortage worldwide. I mean, don't get me wrong, there is potential in a market crash to trigger a short squeeze. That's not made up. It's just not in the way that people think. People think that, short hedge funds or net short funds are going to get burned. I mean, they're not. Their capital is going to shoot way up, right? And also their margin as their short positions print, right? Their leverage, massive leverage short positions go in the money. Their margin and cash on hand are going to climb. The risk here for short hedge funds is that the lenders want to sell and recall their shares. So if GameStop crashes hard enough, the lenders and long buyers who have lent their shares out will recall them immediately, and that can trigger a short squeeze. Do you think an entry will be possible Wednesday, or do you see big up tomorrow? It depends. There's going to be a lot of arbitrage, especially with the German markets doing crazy shit today. There'll be a lot of arbitrage tomorrow at market open and or pre-market open tonight or tomorrow morning. And so there'll be some it'll be interesting. We'll see. We have to see. I mean, let me check SPY futures real quick. Not looking great. VIX up. Fucking everything kind of taking a hit. So we'll see. Tomorrow could be shaky. I mean, who knows what's going to happen between now and then. Trying to predict political events, while it can be profitable, has a very low rate of reliability. I mean, a lot of this could be settled with a phone call or, a brief agreement. There's not even any conflict yet, right? Like, it's just the threat of conflict. I think there's rebels, quote unquote rebels, in Ukraine, and there's stuff going on there. I mean, like, there is, but not from any like nation state, right? Guess who's back? Back again. Bob Dole's back. Isn't he dead? Settling those FTDs help drive OPEX. Not necessarily drive OPEX. We're going to experience them during OPEX, Dominic. So yeah, I mean, if they can contribute to the buy volume, some of them, the rest of them can contribute to the rest of the cycle as it plays out. So if you read the first part of the DD where I explain that ETF AP creation swap mechanism, it should give you an idea of, like how somebody's gonna have to come and buy back those shares of GameStop, right? And that could be why we see, this roll period as those futures contracts are closed out and the ETFs are, netted. And likely before XRT's dividend date, they would want to do that. You think they'll slowly cover on the downtrend or wait till Thursday hoping for a crash? I mean, they can try to cover on the downtrend, but if GameStop's resisting the overall market, like if the covering plus FTDs is sufficient to even just stabilize our price against the drop in the market, big money will come in. They will come in to park their money somewhere and protect it from the market crash. So if we start to display signs of negative beta again, oh yeah. What's your speculative take on why Putin is being a marshmallow? What's in it for him? From your point of view, given the fact that he has in the last hour recognized the rebel regions of the Ukraine, I would say, I mean, he doesn't want Ukraine to become part of NATO. It presents risk for Russian national security. Um, there's obviously economic reasons. I mean, taking advantage of the energy crisis and driving those prices up even further can only make him and his country more money, right? And it's not like the U.S. doesn't have an interest in conflict given the current state of our economy. Um, the U.S. has a lower than usual amount of employed people right now, and conflict like that drives jobs, it drives manufacturing. So what's the LPS and SOS on your chart? SOS is sign of strength and LPS is last point of support. How do you feel about Cat given forward looking uncertainty with the market? I'm actually kind of interested in it. Cat has a lot of factories. I believe in the past they've manufactured military equipment. So if there is conflict, they could see quite a surge in business. That's not letting them drag the market down tomorrow and cover Wednesday and into Thursday. It's possible. There could be a correction back down to this support here at 100 before any bounce occurs. They have T+2, so it's not just Tuesday to cover. They could try to drive the price down all the way into Thursday late afternoon, like we saw last February, where they covered at the last possible minute, halting and giving themselves an extra day. Don't expect them not to try to use that tactic, as they have done it before. Geopolitics is where the big bucks are. Want to start a country? I've got some ideas. I mean, if you can get the land. My opinion, this is the next step in resource wars for climate change. Ukraine is the breadbasket of Europe, and Russia wants it locked up. My opinion, it sadly won't be the end of things like this. It's possible. Yeah, I don't disagree with that. Well, Cat is a major military contract manufacturer, and I can't invest in it. Fuck, that sucks. Does BU stand for big, big ups? Sure. Cat manufacturers the engines for most of the Army's logistical equipment, Cat and Cummings. Yeah. Can you please jump into the GME Wyckoff stuff you've been working on? Please go into as much detail and be as long as you want to be. I want to learn very badly. Why? Stefan, you're a trader. Like Wyckoff's not going to be super important to you, or even that valuable, honestly. It has a high rate of confidence, but the cycles can drag out for a very long time. So, like, this looks like a very good accumulation cycle, and I only highlighted it because it's textbook. But these can drag out for years before price improvement is seen. And so these are, while big long term and very long term investors love these, as you can see back here, um, in our last big accumulation period on GameStop between November 17th of or November 20th of 2017 and January of 2021. This is when Burry and Cohen and DFE all bought into GameStop during this accumulation period. And we all know what happened next, right? And there are accumulation periods that you can track probably in every one of our down cycles. Part of the reason I started looking into it was because we have this double bounce, right? Almost triple bounce on all of our down cycles that you can kind of highlight here. And these are like de facto Wyckoff accumulation. And so that's why I started digging into it. I haven't done Wyckoff in a long time. I'm sure although I did check it, I'm sure that I could adjust this to be even more accurate. But it does look like our accumulation periods have been very rapid since last January. I go into a little more detail in the DD I put out today, Stefan, if you want to look into that. But essentially, yeah, it's tracking smart money and when they're entering, and GameStop at $100 is a very attractive price target for smart money, and the volume trends indicate that they are in fact entering and buying the stock. So I'd be very interested in seeing the next 13 Fs. I've tried to think about who would be buying in. Burry and Rentec seem obvious. Possibly a continuation of JPM's long position, JP Morgan's. There's a chance that, from a strategic perspective, this would be a perfect opportunity for Fidelity to re-enter their long position, which would be interesting. They sold, if people don't know, they sold in January on the run up, and I think they sold off the remainder of their position in March. So yeah, Fidelity, very few shares throughout the year. As far as their ownership goes, obviously, lending clients shares, but it would be a good opportunity for them to re-enter. Significantly below the price they sold at. RGGD, but discarded it because it doesn't have predictions for RC's 69th tweet. What secret message will he send us tomorrow? I don't know. That he's purchased a nuclear bunker. Long dancing. What's up, man? We chosen a song and dance for Moas. Any chance some of the original short is still on Melvin's books, though hidden and not as GME shares, meaning they are in trouble with the recent F-book loss and a run would hurt sooner than norm? It's a good question. Likely yes. If they are carrying a short position and obfuscating it with swaps, it would still be on their books. They just wouldn't be reporting it, right? So the reported short position would appear neutral. And that's what they would report to the SEC in their quarterly financials. But it very well could still be there. I mean, the 13 Fs are garbage, right? Like they're a terrible way of finding out what large money is doing because they intentionally, it's more like watching a poker game between large institutions, right? Like these are the positions they want people to know they're involved in, but it doesn't really tell you much beyond that. And whatever new reporting requirements came up, it shook Susquehanna a bit because they dropped a significant part of their hedge, right, in order to bring their shareholding under 5%, reduce their reporting requirements. There was a reason. That was strategic. There was a reason for that. What's up, time traveling superpositional cat? Do institutions usually use options to enter a long position? They can, yeah. They can use options. They also just buy stock. They don't. I mean, most large institutions could buy GameStop 200 times over. So they're not super concerned with, entering slowly via options, but they do take advantage of arbitrage in the options market. If they can buy in the money calls for cheaper than the current market price or spot price, and then exercise those to get shares, they absolutely will. And sometimes you can do that. Sometimes you can identify certain contracts where, the ask represents a significant discount from the trading price. When is the XRT dividend date, if you know? Early March? March, 12th or something like that? March 11th, maybe? It's either March 11th or like March 18th, something like that. It's in that range. I can't remember it off the top of my head. I know Turd knows it. You guys could probably ask him. Putin just ordered troops into the Ukraine just now. Fuck. Well, it's on. I'm gonna go pack my shit and stay at a Airbnb slightly outside of New York City for a few days. It's not that I don't believe in New York City, but I do want to hedge my position. If we drop down near $100 at the market and then run, what price do you see us running to? Probably still like 150. If we tank to 100, I think we could still regain 150. This is where Wyckoff falls apart, and that like these inflection points can fail, right? And then you can move into another period of oh, fuck off. Retesting. You know? And the phase can move. The hardest phase to identify in Wyckoff is actually the phase that we would be entering. It's the C phase. It looks good. It matches up historically. Will it play out against geopolitical horseshit? Maybe not. Right. That's something that we all have to be prepared for and aware of. Can I borrow some of your Vic skulls? No. I'm gonna need those, I think, maybe. The US to bar Americans from investing or trading with separatist regions in the Ukraine. Okay. That might concern some. What do you have eyes set on after OPEX? Re-entry opportunity, downtrend, this region here. Actually. Or this. These would be my two re-entry points that I would be looking for. Likely, selling if this occurs. And also selling here. So yeah, I would be looking for this and this. The problem is GME's distribution phase from these accumulation events is very short-lived, right? We don't tend to reaccumulate into higher highs. Um, partially because like people get priced out. And so likely, this could go up and then come back down again to hopefully a higher level where we accumulate instead of a lower one. Of all of those tinfoil SS theories, global war triggering MOAS must be the best score on the bingo card. I mean, with the amount of volatility or variance swaps on GameStop, a squeeze on the VIX could seriously fuck some shit up. If I were to hop in late to the VIX, would Tuesday morning be the best bet? It's up a lot already, but yeah. I read your DD, but not the part where you're explaining you're not a shill. FYI, I've learned so much more on the US market from you than I have from paid studies. So thank you, Girk. You're a bro. Thanks, Ryan. Message retracted. Oh, God damn it, Stefan. Take all your childlike Wyckoff excitement and pack it up. Jesus Christ. Never seen somebody so excited about 100-year-old theories. Much like saying never fight a land war in Asia, Putin better take heed of this. Never fight a Dan when he is boofed a 4 for 4. Thoughts on there being a share recall tomorrow under the guise of long skittish over the invasion of the Ukraine? Fucking awesome. That sounds great. I'd love to hear it. And they might. They might actually do that. Just move to Staten Island. Even Russia doesn't care about it. It's not far enough away. 30 miles is like basically all of New York City. 30, 50 miles. If we dip to 100, do you think they can cover on down, or would we bump up to something like 120? I think about 318 monthly is Wednesday. Airbnb or Verbo? I don't even know the difference, Elena. Either one, I don't care. A hotel? Russian troops not confirmed in the Ukraine. FX Hedge is the reporting quote unquote source. Okay, guys, news on Twitter isn't news. Want to come live with me? Not near any major city, and we have some super fast internet of 25 megabytes per second. Fuck no. If the US were to ever be nuked, New York City would definitely get hit first. Have you considered relocating just based on that? Me being 90 minutes from New York City across the sound even makes me nervous. I mean, it definitely would be. I don't care. I don't think that's gonna happen. There's not gonna be any nuclear war between Russia and the US. Putin's not crazy, right? Like he is a very calm and calculated guy. How much, like, I understand if it was like some sort of like theocracy or something like that, or the person in charge was a zealot of some sort, but that's not Putin. Putin's just gonna flex what strength he has and try to do as much as he wants in the time allotted. Just want to say thanks. I'm due in a month. Thanks, yo, Banana Boy. Han, thank you so much, Han. I appreciate it. What's your speculation for tomorrow morning opening? I have no fucking clue, man. It's gonna be nuts. I mean, with all the shit going on this weekend, it's gonna be a crazy morning for sure. So GameStop is going to release an NFT dividend tomorrow to commemorate Russia's invasion, right? Right? Unlikely. Didn't everyone say that some shit was supposed to come out today? Wasn't today the new Bastille Day? If there was a share recall, how long would shorts have to deliver? Is there immediate delivery or T+2? It's up to the lender, actually. The lender can force close. Is that a scenario where DTCC's 1 hour margin call might be in play? Yes. I was joking about the Airbnb thing because nukes, you know. Oh, I get it. The Ukraine source for peacekeepers moving in is the document Putin signed on TV. Okay. But that's not like boots on the ground, right? That's just a document being signed on TV. Zero chance of nuclear war, methinks. Mad is still a thing. Yeah. With regards to negative volume index, from what I read on the internet, when it's below EMA 255, it's a 53% chance of bearish market structure. Yet you framed it as something positive. I'm confused. Oh, it's absolutely a signal of bearish market structure, but it's also a signal of the amount of shorting done on GameStop. I've shown you our entropy data before. If you look at GameStop entropy, it's at multi-year lows, and that chart also kind of just shows an example of the same thing. So what you're seeing is you're seeing short pressure, not sell pressure. Right, sell pressure on GameStop. Well, I mean, we know for a fact that there's been billions dumped into shorting over the last several months. Actually, they began shorting November and October, far in advance of our November run up. So the entirety of our November run was shorted. After reading an enlightening post about you on Supersong yesterday, I can no longer in good faith be silent and lurk. You're clearly a shill that works for BlackRock, and I have contacted Ko-Fi customer services to get all of my... What? Hold on, there's more. To get all my thank you donations back. P.S. Thank you. Thank you, Silent Lurker. I appreciate it, man. I don't work for BlackRock. If you're wrong and there's nuclear war, will you frost your tips? No. If we're gonna live in a post-apocalyptic society, the last thing I want to be doing is painting a target on myself with frosted tips. I'm your Prius and drive to another state. I don't have a Prius. Do you understand how much Hand does for you in Discord? VIP. Hand's great. I'm aware. Looks like they pulled both your recent RSS posts. The one I posted today? On what grounds? It's not pulled. It's up. My one yesterday got pissed. I was just like, I posted that shot to Twitter and I was like, oh, like of the Wyckoff model. And I was like, oh, I'll share this to Reddit. And I just like copied the link and pasted it. And then people complained. So JSmart had to step in. It's cool. I mean, it's not that I don't understand the positions the mods get put in, right? Like they're just trying to maintain. Imagine trying to maintain that every day. You know, it's fucked, and there's not a lot of them. Any chance the holiday today allows them to push back their due date for months again? No. They didn't even get pushed back in November. They had deferments, but they just covered. They covered some in advance. And more and more, I think that November 3rd was some covering of that exposure as well. Given that's really where the short interest picked up. They just couldn't prevent the rest of the run. And so what they did was they just tried to suppress the rest of it as much as possible. I mean, and also that kind of indicates to me that this test is very dangerous for them right now. This 250 test, something has changed in their liquidity requirements to cause them to short literally from here in late October. If you guys remember from back then, our last FTD due date in late October was I believe October 29th. If I'm not mistaken, it was October 26th or October 29th, one of those two. Anyway, from that day forward, share creation in XRT ramped up a ton. And then that share creation in XRT continued all the way until January 7th when it was thresholded. And it still continues now. Even on the threshold list, they're continuing to use XRT for creation. And no matter how many swaps they write, you know, that negative balance will come due likely in this quarterly OPEX window between now and when those swaps are closed in you know, before the rollover date. Which is so cool that we finally have kind of a grasp on a little bit behind what's going on with these rules. Hi-Fi, you sure don't want to stay with me. Nuclear Follow hit us living on tall mountains high above the cloud line. Plus we have cousin Darth Dan to satisfy your needs. Picks at Banjo. What effect can DOJ have on hedge funds? Can they force them to close out of all positions to clearly see their books? No, not without a court order, which would probably require charges being pressed. I mean, they do have civil asset forfeiture, but I don't think that would cause a squeeze. Right? They would just put a freeze on those assets. And that sucks for the counterparties, right? And that's who we're concerned with, is that counterparty risk. Time for more mods. Maybe. I have some people I'm considering. How it feels to be held up with DFV for class and DD. Thanks for everything, brother. I don't think there's a comparison at all. None of us would be here without him. That's it. He created, probably unwittingly, the greatest realization of financial independence that retail investors have ever known. So no, I don't compare me to him. We are not the same. Well, I appreciate it. I do. New York Times saying Russian troops going into Ukrainian territory. Okay, that's better. Are there some other news sources confirming the same besides FX Hedge? I'm feeling a disconnect with regards to what you're saying, what you say conservative future price action can bring versus the implications of GME's Wyckoff's year-long accumulation and weeks-long spring equals insane ups. It does, but we're looking at it on a very narrow scale, Stefan. You could actually look at all, like with Wyckoff, we could go out. Let's go out here to the weekly, and I'll try to give you some idea of what I'm talking about. If we go out here to the weekly, there's a very good chance that the pattern GME is in now since the beginning of the year is in fact an accumulation period or reaccumulation for a move to even higher upsides. While very bullish, the question is, does the volume support that analysis? I don't think so. I think the downtrend in volume does not support that we are in a year-long accumulation period. But I do think down here on the faster time frame that we do see repeating patterns of accumulation and very fast distribution. I do not think this is the only one. I think it also occurred, in February. It occurred in April. It occurred in July, and then again in September, October, and now. So I'm seeing these patterns play out on the fast scale very frequently. It can mean big ups, but the reaccumulation period on GameStop doesn't occur and the price falls. Wyckoff is not guaranteed by any means. So what that would indicate is that there's large positions moving in on the dips. And we know this to be true, right? Because large positions are creating the dips, and that does create accumulation, right? Because it is a short position. All shorts are future buyers, right? You have to look at it far more dynamically than that to use Wyckoff successfully. And I think it's best used with a very good understanding of the asset that you're analyzing. If we don't see price movement, what is the very last moment you will get out of your options and wait for reentry? Particularly, you accidentally April 200C. Also, thanks for all your hard work. I would wait until Friday of this coming week. And if nothing happened, I would close and wait to re-enter on a confirmation of a bounce. And that would mean some significant slippage in my options position. So I hope it doesn't come to pass, but that would probably tentatively be my plan. I would just close. I would close here on the IV spike and reopen on a low test or a consolidation. Don't be so modest. Nice DD. Ban Darth Dan, Mod, and Mod Viscera. Thanks, Warren Kitty. I'll take it under consideration. Where is Visceral? I feel like I haven't heard from him in a while. What's your estimate on the low of our dip after OPEX? Around 135, 137. If everything is realized as predicted. I can bring up, and it'll depend on how high we run, right? But let me me bring this up. So if we look at our price volume comparison, we have a lot of volume from like 135, peaking actually like up here at 183, before it starts to come down. I would say that if we attain 183, we would probably slip to the next low, either at 158, or we could slip as low as like this negative channel here at 135. Remember, when the runs are over and they're looking to crush IV, they like these pockets of low interest, that I've described to you before. So this one here, there's one here. There's that one between 200 and 210 where interest kind of falls off. There's one up here above 220. And these are the best places for them to try to park price action, until they can bring IV down and crush the price. So on all of our runs, for the most part, we've found some stabilization, except for November, in those low volume pockets where there's not a lot of options interest driving price action. Thanks, JPEX. That's not just the New York Times anymore. Okay. FX10 just tweeted margin call. One trader saying, when interest in a stock declines, that's when you see the days to cover increase, indicating squeeze is on. He said GME was in a long squeeze that lasts 3 to 4 months. Should be done now. I agree with that assessment. Everything that we're looking at looks like a squeeze could occur. The amount of overextension on their ETF creation and market maker, bona fide market maker, synthetic shorting indicates that they are in trouble in some way. And so the suppression of this last run and the length of suppression through November indicates that positions are at risk. I am extremely bullish on the coming weeks, but my expectations are tempered by what I can see in my analysis. So if my analysis is indicating less potential, I'm gonna go with that rather than hoping for more. And I think that's a good strategy. I can always buy back calls if shit gets crazy. Or, take my profits on during a period of consolidation and buy leaps, and take a much less risky position. Tried to warn you. You got a record deal? Oh, that's fucking awesome. That's super, super cool. Thoughts on the 123 VWAP back to 825 after OPEX and 175 back to June 9 share offering dump for targets. After OPEX is a mean revision, they give a range of 163 to 174. 162.50 is kind of a stabilization point that we've seen in the past. So I can agree with that. What indicator is that? This is just fucking what do they call it? Fixed range volume profile. So you pick a range and it shows you the volume at each dollar value. So whether we know a peak of 180 or the movement up higher, we just need to watch volume to decide. Yeah. Volume will be a good indicator. But volume's also, high volume is also an indicator that institutions are selling into FOMO. So be aware of that. Our volume peaks are usually met with reversions. Institutions have bought GME the whole of 2021. I pinged you in general chat on Discord with a screenshot. Some have sold. There's been lots of selling. There was a shitload of selling in June. If there is buying, it's minimal, at least from the 13Fs I've seen. Yeah, pretty much, Trey. You cute. Thanks. Have you heard of weaponized autism? No. Am I doing it? There are 85 more institutions holding in December than in January. Yeah, but they don't own as much. It's not quantity, it's quality. So stay away from covered calls the next few weeks. I've been selling 250s the past few weeks in case it runs, but do you think it has the potential to blow past that? It could. Yeah, I would say the next few weeks covered calls would be very, very, very risky. Are you gonna make me a mod? No, I'm not gonna do that, Popcorn Trader. Thanks, Mr. M. I appreciate it, dude. Actually, you know what? I think I know who I'm gonna mod right now. If they want it. Son of a bitch. There it is. Everybody, say hi to your newest mod, Fluffyosa. No, Carl, you're already a mod. Quiet. Any news from Gamma Girl yet? No, I'm worried. I want to know Gamma Maximum for tomorrow, but also just haven't heard from her in some time. Nepotism? How's it nepotism? Would a market-wide circuit breaker day halt change the timeline for OPEC settlement? Yes. It would move it forward. I take back literally everything good I have ever said about you. Thanks, Popcorn Trader. Pulled strategy, Greg. Let's see if it pays off. Find out. Hezekiah's wife. Fluffios is not a quant. I haven't modded anybody from the quant team. They're fucking degenerates. I would never make any of them moderators. If you had top 3 to 5 factors leading to a squeeze, what would they be? I made a bingo card, DD. You can go check it out. That's what I would be looking for. I think all of them are checked. I know position size is more important than number of institutions holding, but the message is that more people have developed an overall bull thesis that they're cautiously testing. Yes. Actually, the price improvement now, according to Wyckoff, would be a test of that, of that institutional interest. And then, you know, if the position continues to see improvement, they would hold. That's all you gotta do, Fluffiosa. Just, yeah, just occasionally delete random Russian .vor messages. Does market-wide breaker before Thursday, then Thursday into halt, close, move obligations to the next week? Yes, it would. I thought your meta Facebook conspiracy is very interesting. But if it is, if in fact, entering a period of accumulation, then you've got plenty of time. This most recent modding will not go without punishment. What's wrong with Fluffiosa? It seems very neutral and doesn't start. I've never seen them start shit with anybody. Do you have any plans for degen ultra risky options if we haven't started running come midday Wednesday? Degen ultra risky options. I don't have any of those. If you're buying weeklies, be prepared to get the fuck out. That's how weeklies work. Don't hold them for multiple days. In most instances, I would say don't hold them overnight. They only lose value, and they lose it very quickly. When you become a mod, does the welcome package include a liver ultrasound and liver function panel to screen for cirrhosis? It doesn't. I just assume that their livers are already fucked. Can I be a mod? There's about 20 people I would ban immediately during the daily stream, and probably not, Tim. Probably not because of that. Okay, so is MOAS less likely now that it is nearing end of Feb? Or is MOAS near because hedgies are in trouble? Conflicting sentiment, thoughts. Well, all of the exposure from December and January still has to be covered. Stefan, they can kick the can, but eventually it gets too heavy to kick. It's not they can't do it infinitely. So can they kick it again? We'll see. Stop. I'm about to YOLO. Huzzah, for I have witnessed the birth of another mod. May Lady VWAP and Pickle Jesus praise those above us in the pickle jar. Also, it was supposed to be a dude this time. LOL. What? I don't. Who cares? I'm fluffier than Fluffiosa. You've seen my calves. I have. I'm just having fun. I love Fluffiosa. Okay. Jason Couture, thank you so much for becoming a Cornishon, man. If MOAS occurs, do you still believe that Jimmy will likely squeeze 100 times AMC? I'm asking because if AMC is truly a volatility hedge, then won't AMC MOAS first? I don't think AMC is capable of MOASing, Stefan. I don't think that there is a large enough short position, and I think the size of the float is far too liquid to potentiate a short squeeze. I think I've learned my lesson. We'll buy options dated for next week. God damn it. In degenerates. It's a good strategy by leaps tomorrow morning and sell Friday if nothing happens at relatively same price. You could do that. Yeah. I mean, very low risk, high cost of entry, but low risk. I still of the mind that Tuesday makes sense to them to run it. I mean, I think Tuesday is a good day. I don't know what makes sense for them to run it. I don't understand their risk profiles. I know that they have a lot of it, based on, you know, ETF flow over the last quarter. Yeah, apparently you're not a dude. Love you, so. I hate to be the one to tell you. Would you be willing to share generally your options position on Gmail, given percent ranges of strikes and expirations? No. Why are you trying to copy it? Make up your own position meditation. I have already, like so many fucking times. I have options from 130 all the way up to 350, 510. Various strikes and quantities. Enter it at different times. If you were trying to match my position, you couldn't. I bought lots of it on the dip. I bought some of it after the consolidation from the run on the 8th. I bought some of it Friday. If you're a pirate, how closely are you going to be watching futures tonight? A little bit. I'm going to try to sleep tonight, I think, mostly. That's what I'd like to do, is sleep. I haven't done that in a couple weeks, so. Tuesday, 2/22/22. Whatever makes you happy, man. Your DD is number 3 on RSS now. Are the mods asleep? I think the shills don't work on Sunday. Who wants to chug wine next to a dumpster? Dumpsters are where you chug for Loco. Merloco. It's like Four Loco, but Merlot. You just take a 5-hour energy drink and dump it in a bottle of gas station wine. That's sufficient for a dumpster, I think. I don't think anybody at the dumpster would be like, oh, look at this hoity-toity motherfucker. I think they would just, you'd fit in, you know? What date calls would you be looking to enter after OPEX if the predictions go according to plan? I mean, if this all plays out perfectly, I'd probably be looking to re-enter somewhere around Feb 24th, Feb 25th. Are boneless wings actually chicken nuggets? Yes. I mean, not. They could be tenders. I think a chicken nugget implies like mechanically separated chicken, and a tender could just be a cube of flesh. The Russian troops were only moved into the 2 regions of Ukraine who swore allegiance to Russia. Not an invasion yet. Okay. That's an invasion. I mean, that's a question of sovereignty, right? I'm new here. You never answer me. Can DOJ investigations force short hedge funds to close positions if it turns into a criminal case? No, they would freeze their assets. I answered you before when you asked me that, Johnny A. You're not new here. You've been here forever, and you've asked me the question twice, and now I've answered it twice. Would you rather one, mod me, two, mod JFresh? Neither. Both seem to have inherent risk. Thank you for sharing. Not trying to copy, just curious if you had far out of the money strikes. Very glad to hear you're gonna get some sleep this week. I haven't yet. I have VIX futures again, so it's I might not. Russia can't just declare Texas an independent country and move troops there for peacekeeping. It's an invasion. I imagine it'd be hard to keep troops in Texas. They'd get run over or shot. Probably not a good place to stage an army. Also hot. Just real hot. Chicken tender is the chicken tenderloin. A nugget is mechanically separated, then pressed back. Yeah, well, isn't that what I just described? Why are you tagging me and repeating? And what's just a cube of chicken breaded? None of you are new here. Stop it. I think that the pick of the first run isn't on the right date on your chart. I say this because I have positions to enter Wednesday. What? I think the pick of the first run isn't on the right date. Can you just rephrase that? What drives IV? Any expectations for what IV could hit this week? And resource website to use to track IV for GME. You can use Market Chameleon or various paid services that have IV. JFresh has one that I think tracks IV. What the fuck's that one called? Hold on. If I have a free resource for you guys, let me see if I can. Is it this one? zigz.io. Should buy weekly VIX calls or several weeks out. I'd give myself time. Gaff? are you buying into the shill fund now, Gaff? You better be careful, man. People are gonna think we work together or something. Thanks, dude. I appreciate it. Or did you just want to troll the chat and you couldn't because you were locked out? Sorry, if you cover this, I have multiple strike calls from 165 to 300 for April 14th. Do you think I should roll if OPEX doesn't make them green? Or am I still good for the next cycle? You could move them to the... Are those the monthlies? Yeah. You're probably... I mean, if OPEX doesn't pan out, there's nothing. Like, if this just trades flat and nothing happens for the next couple of weeks, there's nothing expected after that. So I mean, I would look no later than like March 14, March 18 to move those out. It was my first day here. If I sound like I don't know what I'm talking about, that is why. I was saddened to hear that you were a shill from your DD today. I know. But I felt it best to make sure that everyone knew, right? Must be the coworker connection. We MOAS this week. Girk better ban Darth Dan because of Roaring Kitty. Roaring Kitty, can you just, in a few words, can you explain to me why you want Darth Dan banned? What, how does that cause MOAS? Dad, I'm not trying to get mod status. Okay, good. Can OPEX be internalized? Asking for a friend. I mean, some of it can be, but no. For the most part, it can't be. As far as I understand what drives it, unlikely. It's my 201st day here, so if I sound like I'm still an idiot, it's because I've been drinking the last 201 days. I mean, are they going to use internalization during a run-up? Absolutely. Can they internalize all of it? Highly unlikely. They would have done so in the past if they could have stopped the cyclical nature on GameStop. It would be stopped. But I guess the next few days tell us, right? If they have unwound the spring or only tightened the end of it. It's like an RPG. The more you level up, the better you get at it, Elena. Oak Island Money Pit requires sacrifice. This is no different. Someone needs to take one for the team. Since this is my first day here, I'll give you some wisdom. Get a Wendy's 4-for-4 meal today. CNS, CNS, CNS. Thanks, Gaff. We know it's there. Fortunately, CNS doesn't affect forward contracts or swaps. Well, at least not right away. Just got on now. I missed anything big other than the DD you posted today? There, I do have a big DD. It's on Reddit. I mean, yeah, you missed a fucking hour and 27 minutes of the stream. Fluffy puppers. Have you ever had a Rudy Tooty fresh and fruity from IHOP? That sounds sexual. No, I've never had any services at an IHOP before. Sounds like they're trying to compete with the Dans. Is Ukraine in the Midwest? Yes. Also, I'll tag you in whatever I want. That's my right as both a viewer and a Long Johnson. I mean, sure. Super Stonk modded the DD. What do you mean they modded it? Didn't do anything to it. $20 snakes? Fucking weak sauce. Hey, hate watchers, go give me more snakes. I need 69 snakes from OS. Is it not gone wild? Does CNS really just transfer risk directly to the DTCC? Someone with a sky blue name in Discord said that today. Gaff, since you're here, do you want to answer CNS questions? I know you like talking about CNS. You were just chanting it. The one from a day ago got taken down. Yeah, I know. I linked my Twitter. I didn't really think about it, frankly. Although my Twitter's not monetized, and people have definitely linked their Twitters before. It's not a big deal. I get it. People are just complaining about it. So it's better to just follow the rules, because then there's no argument, right? I gotta go now. This DD is too big for me to handle. See you tomorrow. All right, I'll see you later, Johnny. Snacks, yes. It's stickied? What the fuck? How? No, bullshit. They would never sticky my DD. I don't believe it. Be the exit strategy? What's an exit strategy? It's how you move out of a position that you no longer want to own. Just the top of hot. Oh. Is Dr. Trimbath's book monetized? I don't know. Call her publisher. Yes, it is. I don't know what I'm saying. Yeah, of course it is. That's ridiculous. Nobody writes books and publishes them, gives them away for free. It's not fucking Halloween. Aren't DDs supposed to be sticky, or should I see a doctor? That doesn't sound healthy, Osnadian. Thank you, Gaff. I'll read it. CNS does not transfer risk. It rolls risk in perpetuity forward until obligations can be cleared. Initial obligations and parties still exist, just don't have a requirement of immediate resolution. Thank you. Just a big old full obligations warehouse in the Ukraine. It just doesn't work in the English language. Ugh. In Ukraine? I'm not British. That's like saying in future. I left Sling Blade for pickles. Algorithm. Look at my algorithm, guys. I figured it out. Well, the hedge funds, they manipulate the price. Mm-hmm. That's right. Okay. Um if market starts tanking tomorrow, will you sell some of your GME position and buy back in Wednesday or Thursday, or just let your VIX calls do its hedge thing? My GME options position, I have no intention of selling any of my shares. But yeah, I would just buy back in later. And it would depend on how much. I mean, my position's hedged through the VIX, so I'm not super concerned. I might get rid of nearer dates, like March 4th. I have quite a few of those. Was that a South Park accent? No. We say in Germany or in England. I don't know. It doesn't fit for me. I don't like it. Why does everyone care so much? Is it because it's not part of the Soviet Union anymore? It feels weird to say in the mouth. No, I won't do it. Do you think shorting is too cheap since short positions can be left open for many, many, many years, robbing the stock of valuable price discovery? Yeah. All right. We got like 25 more minutes. Hit me with the questions. Apparently, it's a dog whistle for Russian propaganda adding the. Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. Really? I feel like just both are acceptable. I say the United States. This doesn't imply the ownership of my country by another one. Is there another good hedge besides VIX? Maybe something with a cheaper chain. HYG, maybe? Uh, there's TLT, which could get affected significantly. How tall am I? Tall enough. We're still cool. Right, Girk? Why weren't we cool? What happened? Hypothetically, if war breaks out, how do you think Wetzel's Pretzels would fare in that environment? To the moon. Wetzel's Pretzels would squeeze right through the roof. No, I'm kidding. I don't know what the fuck would happen with Wetzel's Pretzels. Thoughts on long puts for the pullbacks? You could. If AMC is a hedge for GME, would that suggest that they would start to run up together and reach some breakpoint where AMC tanks and GME rockets? Probably at the end of AMC's options chain, which I think currently taps out at about 145. Unlikely though. It's possible that just, it's a good way to just divide retail interest more than anything, right? And it's successful at doing that. They've created a unbelievable amount of fanaticism surrounding their stock while their CEO sells out from underneath them. If you go buy one share of AMC, you'll own more than the fucking CFO, and that should tell you something. Will you exercise some options Wednesday or Thursday just because it puts more pressure on the short hedge fund? I mean, if our price goes up enough, I'll consider exercising some of my position. It's got to go up quite a bit for me to consider exercising. I already have a lot of shares. I mean, I'll get more if I can apply pressure cheaply. I will. The is literally in our title, but I have heard it said that the is used to disavow it being an independent nation and referred to it as a region instead. Interesting. Why is your brigaded monetized piss falsely labeled as DD? I don't know. Probably because I put facts in it and documents, and then it was like, is this DD? And I didn't know how to answer that, so I labeled it DD. Oh, data? There was data, facts, and documentation supporting it. So I know it seemed like an opinion piece, but really, I just wanted it to be popular because I want all that sweet, sweet karma. You wouldn't believe the things you can do with 700,000 karma. I mean, it really opens up doors that you never thought would have existed. I've gotten several invites to, hang out in people's moms' basements. Death threats, suicide warnings. It's just a win fucking win, honestly. What indications, if any, would there be that they're likely going to cover at the last minute? Would we see an influx of deep in the money puts tomorrow, first thing, or something else to watch for? You're looking for large volume flow on in the money puts. That's how we know that they're shifting course. But that's how we've known they're shifting course in the past. Also, large volume of out of the money puts coming in. Close dated. So DD equals VUP. Could. Pragmatic VUP. Yeah, pragmatic upside potential. Gaff spitting hot fire. That's what he does. Gaff also knows that AMC is a big pile of shit. I have 14.7k karma. Can I hang out? Sorry, bro. What's your favorite death threat? I mean, all of them. You can get into Harvard with that much karma. What do you mean by shifting course? Changing from covering to shorting? What the fuck do you think I mean? What does shifting course mean to you, Stefan? The correct label for that is speculation. Speculative upside potential? Okay. Longest length of tie you've slept on an air mattress. Length of time I've slept on an air mattress. Year and a half. It wasn't really an air mattress at the end of that. It was mostly just a rubber sheet that was on the floor. Long shifting course equals MOAS more likely or less likely? That would mean less likely. Stop digging for bullishness, all right? Enough from you. You're cut off. Fucking all excited about Wyckoff and MOAS. It's like a 4-year-old. Like a technical analysis 4-year-old. How could the 12,000 volume on German exchange allow people to buy Jamie for 114 instead of 120? Why can I not buy that dip? I mean, you could probably open up an international brokerage account and buy it. I don't know. Are you allowed to trade securities in the EU? Maybe not. I've never tried. For continuing to write DD when the shills wanted you to stop, I hereby threaten you with death by snoo. Thanks. I don't know, but what happens when we figure out all the strategies? I don't think this is a shift in strategy. I just think it's a realization of more of the strategy. How is my back not wrecked? From what? What does Moana mean or stand for? And will you be willing to start the stream tomorrow at 9 or 9:15? I don't know. It depends on when I wake up, and I don't know what Moana stands for. It's just like some guy donated like $500 one time and just spelled out Moana. It was weird. What do you think will happen to Moonwind's hundreds of weekly calls for next week? He'll probably lose all his money. Even if we run, like somehow he'll lose everything and then sell CCs the next week, and then we'll run super hard. What do you think will happen? Death by Dan smothering? Ugh. What's the expiration of your higher out of the money calls? 250, 350. I have 510s. I have 350s. I have 300s. I have some 320s. I have 280s, 250, 220, 200, 180s, 160s, 150s, 140s, 130s, and some 120s still. How's your back not wrecked from the flat airbed? Oh, I don't know. It was fine. You sleep on the floor. It doesn't kill you. Is it calls cost like shares, or shares cost like calls? No, puts cost same as shares. Moana equals Girk's payday. Missouri Association of Nurse Anesthetists. Okay. Is that a thing from the Disney movie too, right? Seriously, the Moana thing sounds like something that an eccentric billionaire would do. Maybe. So you got a lot of calls, huh? A few. Theorized it was RC or Elon that did that. Okay. I mean, Elon's here. You can just ask him if he did it. Thanks for your DD. I know it wasn't the point, but you came, saw, and conquered. Like, you brought all the receipts. Plus, it's very clear, articulate, and easy to follow. Thank you, Elena. I always have the receipts. Confirming time frame. So OPEX 22, 23, possibly 24. Because of T+2. Then week of 228, not much. Futures start rolling 3.7, going to 3.10, and possibly a couple days longer. Not true. We could actually just move throughout that entire period. We could have a period of consolidation, but we may not. So be aware of that. We'll likely have a period of consolidation after OPEX immediately. So if OPEX wraps up on like the 24th, like Friday and Monday could be kind of stagnant, and then if we go to climb up even higher due to the futures rollover, it'll kind of begin fairly quickly. Mostly what we're looking for is for price action not to fall off a cliff. As also OPEX is weird because after OPEX occurs, it drives even more options into the money, which creates more gamma exposure and creates additional hedging and stuff that can carry out for a few more days. So if OPEX is especially violent in our realized upside, expect there to be a lot of volatility in the following days. Kind of like what we saw in August, where we kept bouncing around that like 200 to 230 channel before we finally fell off. Similar to that. Months ago when you said we might already be in MOAS, what changed since then? I mean, we could still be in a short squeeze. It's hard to say, right? Like if we go up, we go up. If we don't, we don't. There's no way that even if like just one fund got called, there'd be no way of knowing until the price action was realized, right? You jump into trampoline to your cat. My calves never jiggle. Ew. Jiggly calves. Or you set up look like the bad guy from Grandma's Boy movie who listens to EDM. Months ago, glad to see we're in the ranks of the 510 gang. Have you been able to sleep on your stomach at all this weekend? No. Currently watching from an air mattress. Can confirm Sam, like rubber sheet, loses all the air if I don't pump it up every hour. Hopefully I get a mattress after next week. I hope so, man. Do you have any June 680s? Is there a 680 club? No. It's too like safe for there to be a club around it. It's not risky enough, you know? You need that element of danger to form any kind of gang or club. What is it, Carl? Are you just tagging people? 320 gang. That's a thing. Is there anything that we will know about about all of this after it concludes? Probably not. Does accumulation mean we get an only Cavs channel? Maybe. Most people who sleep on rubber pads are in jail. Don't they have mattresses? I don't know anything about jail. No, I was just poor and didn't have a mattress, so I bought an air mattress, and then it sucked. It was a piece of shit, and it deflated over time, and I just didn't care enough to replace it. March 680s has a club. We meet behind the Wendy's on Thursday nights for some Merlot and 5-hour energy checking. Important question. Should I cover my mac and cheese or leave it open in the oven? Oh, you probably want to cover it while it cooks. And once it gets to temperature, then you want to uncover it and allow the Maillard reaction to occur on the proteins and the cheese, create delicious flavors. You want to brown it. Brown tastes good. Can you please briefly mention the most bullish thing going on right now and the most bearish thing going on right now so we have context? Well, there's a possible international conflict that may or may not occur in the next few days, and OPEX. There you go. Stop being so uncertain, Stefan. All right, do your own analysis. If you're going to try to play devil's advocate with mine, do your own DD. Remember that? Wasn't that a saying? Hey, Girk, just got here. How many of those calls do you intend to exercise if you can share? I mean, it'll depend on what prices we reach, Sammy. I have, let's see, I have like 30 calls very near the money that I would be willing to exercise if the price gets above 180. And then, see, the problem is the brokerages I would prefer to exercise calls in. I don't have very many calls in right now. Like I'm not going to exercise shit on WeBull. That's a joke. So yeah. But anything below 150, I guess, is something I would consider exercising because it's less likely for the price to return to that point where I could just buy it at that price again anyway. So, like, we will never truly know the size of the short positions or what they were doing to dodge all this. Maybe not. It's a very real possibility. They're stuffed vinyl mattresses for inmates? That sounds super shitty. When institutions enter a stock, they have a plan, right? Wouldn't JP Morgan have one for this period considering they entered unhedged? I guess so. I mean, probably. I mean, they're already up, right? From where like they declared their entry, which was on that dip. Or they just sold in November. We don't know. Done my own analysis. Turns out uncooked French fries are good, terrible. Yeah, no shit. Did you realize that you could have gotten a better air mattress until it's too late? Why do your behaviors feel like a personal attack at me? I mean, I probably could have gotten a better air mattress, but it was cheaper to just keep sleeping on the floor. That was before the shills came about. Now, if it isn't shill driven DD, is it even really DD? Which brokerages do you prefer to exercise calls in? Actually, Fidelity is one of the easier ones. IBKR is good. I don't like exercising with Schwab, and I'll absolutely never try to exercise anything with WeBull. Oh, guys, I got my first like real shill offer. WeBull reached out to me, and they were like, "Do you want to be part of our partner program and get free stock when people sign up?" And I was like, "Fuck you." Right? Fuck them. Fuck. I'm gonna switch platforms. I'm not gonna use Webull anymore. Fucking here's some extra shares of Genworth Financial. Horseshit. You start a pickle juice mattress company, all the fun of a waterbed, but with extra incentive to not bust it. Interesting. I don't like waterbeds. You prefer brownie edges or centers, as long as they're chewy. Oh no, actually, we aren't up. We YOLO'd into all those 510s because that's what Cindy down in finance department said. She heard from your DD. We've had to up late fees because of it. Hugs. Thanks, JP Chase Risk Assessment Team. Why not exercising with Schwab? I don't know. I really don't have that many GameStop contracts there. I think I have like two. What? That is a straight Andrew Mo partnership? Eat that shit up. What if I have all my calls with Webull? I don't know. Fucking sell them, buy shares, and then DRS them. Whatever makes you happy, man. But you did. You shill. You got a concrete empire. If they stopped giving me the concrete stock, now they just give me like useless like $3 biotech stocks. Should have bartered for real-time options data. Supposedly I have that. I mean, like, yeah, I get like free shares, like the same as you would if you shared it with like your buddy on your phone. But it's like $3 shares. It's not like they're giving me like fucking Facebook or something. We'll be looking forward to an exciting week. Me too, my good bean. It's gonna be a fun one. Biotechs can hit $3. What was the one they kept giving me? It was like ONW or something. Is Stefan smooth when he's not high? No. He's just violently autistic sometimes. Even think there is a counterparty yet? We don't know. We still have to find evidence of like 1/K hedging. A $3 share could be the next GME. I don't think so. Hold out for a Trader Joe's offer. That's what I'm doing. No problem, Sammy. Is IBKR a brokerage you would exercise in? Yeah, it is. Facebook will be broke in 3 to 5 years. I don't think so. They still own like a whole bunch of other profitable shit. Any picks for next week? Seems like a good week for puts. I mean, it could be a like a bearish week. I don't know, man. SLD's wrapped up. This is all very speculative. War and stock market crashes do not generally go hand in hand. This is America. We make big fucking money on that shit. On the Gurkha meter, at what percentage is the excitement level you were internalizing? 69.420. Fidelity stop limits doesn't have a separate stop and limit price, just a single field labeled stop limit. How does this work? Why not just use a stop loss or a limit order? What? This can't be correct. They definitely let you choose the limit after you choose the stop. Have you input the stop first? You have to input the stop first. How do we get that confidence triangle to be about just the tip? The low confidence point? That's pretty high. That's like a test of 200. I told you to do that. Sorry for the question. I'm a few minutes late. No problem. You have a link to WeBull, 2 free stocks with a $100 deposit in the description. Yeah, because I get 2 free stocks if people deposit money in WeBull. But that's literally just like the copy and paste thing. I just pasted it there. And people wanted a brokerage to trade options on. I don't have the link, but saw some historical charts of prior wars on the S&P, and it always dips but then rips. Yeah, you can have a little uncertainty initially, Renzer. But yeah, it usually turns around. It's kind of like a sector shift. People just move their money, right? And so it creates a bit of a decline, but the Fed could prop that up. I don't think the Fed wants a decline in the market right now. War, Hugh, good God, y'all. What is it good for? A war, huh? Absolute military industrial complex profits. I used Fidelity, can confirm there are no issues with limit sells, but God, so I wish it was a better UI. Yeah, the UI is kind of fucking sucks. They were supposed to be releasing a new platform to trade on, but they haven't. I was very excited about it. You have a conflict hat to wear if war were declared? No, but I could probably find one. Like a battle helmet? Yeah, I don't. SLD Warfed next week. Salty Nut sponsorship seems sus. SLD greater than Warfed? I don't know, man. We'll find out. Tomorrow's gonna be a crazy fucking day. All right, guys, that is all for today. It is already past 6 p.m. Wait, what time did I say I was doing this till? I forgot. Did I say I was going to 6:30? I thought I was gonna go a little longer so people could get out of work. God damn it. Fucked myself. Should have made it 2 hours. All right. Well, I'm still here then. What level of danger does the 510 gang need to achieve to be a real gang? I ate cheese for lunch and I'm lactose intolerant. It's up there. I don't understand how you say they can't keep this up forever, i.e. bullish, but at the same time, they might be getting out of their position because changing course. This is madness. I said changing course at the peak of the run, Stefan. Once they have satisfied their near-term obligations, they tend to, and have every time in the past year, flip and start shorting the stock back down. Please talk for 30 more minutes for my lame commute home. I'm doing it. They don't allow stop limits on GME options. I called to confirm. Oh, okay. I didn't know that. I don't buy options on Fidelity. I hate trading options on there, so yeah, I couldn't tell you. Good luck. Are they moving into West Germany next? Or East Germany? You don't see a full-scale war happening in Eastern Europe? No, probably not. I mean, it's not out of the question, but it's very unlikely. And this metaverse Jim Cantone looking cone of uncertainty thing on my screen. It's the cone of certainty. Why do you hate trading options on Fidelity? I'm not a big fan of their UI. Ukraine has oil. Okay. A bunch of shares were borrowed last week, much of which was maybe not shorted. Any data on this? A bunch of shares are borrowed every week. I mean, we track the shares to borrow and the borrow rate, but usually they're returned same day in order to avoid bumping the overnight borrow rate. I don't know what else to talk about. You zoom in on your screen so you can see the numbers and the axis better. What's the point of buying so many different far out of the money strikes? Wouldn't it be better just to buy closer in the money? No. Because if the stock runs, you can profit greatly on out of the money strikes. They have got more room for growth. You can also exit your position better if you have more strikes at various prices. So you can exit like the far out of the money strikes first, and and that way you can kind of break down your exit as price action occurs. Ukraine has a lot of oil. In fact, most of Eastern Europe, Western Asia has a ton of oil and natural gas. I can 100% see a situation in which NATO-backed countries go in and oust the tyrant. I suppose. Cooking tips? I'm not very hungry. Would you want to go through one or some of the announcements you made on the Discord? I just wrote an entire DD on them, man. What do you do with money after MOAS? I don't know. Just buy more stocks, I guess. That's kind of just what I do with money. Did you get extra holiday pay for streaming today from BlackRock? You know what? I've got to talk to Heather in HR, but I don't think so. Apparently today was a required market day. Hey Pickle, you think they may run this in pre-market tomorrow to price out people from a weekly YOLO on this week's expected move? They could, absolutely. I don't think it would price anybody out. There's not enough liquidity in pre-market probably to pull that off, unless they run it really, really fucking hard, which is unlikely. Is my UVXY 20C gonna print this week? Am I... Spill the deets on the eggplant parm recipe. I don't want to. One day. One day, Trash Dan. Have you ever tried Zins? I don't know what that is. Take a look at Ford. Yes. What do you want to know about it? Ew. It's not Ford. It's got a nice fat gap to fill back to the upside. Didn't I have like a Ford play like a little while back? I never bought any of it. I forgot to. This is a nice entry. Just give yourself literally all the time in the world. And if the market tanks, be prepared for... Actually, you know what? Ford might not too bad either. This might be just like kind of a good entry on Ford. It's got some support that it's found here at like 1750-ish. Conservative estimate on IV spike for anticipated OPEX runs 40 to 60%. Any updates on SPY correction crash zones? I think they're mostly in the same place. Yeah, I don't think anything's changed. We'd still be looking for the SPY to fall below 432. To indicate that we're in fact in a correction. If it continues to fall, and I would say if the EMA the EMA 60 crosses the 180, that would be bad. Or you could look for like a, you know what? I would say a death cross, but they come. Oh wait, hold on. They're too slow. The fuck is that? There it is. I mean, it's still kind of in this consolidation period. I suspect it could hold, but we'll have to see what happens tomorrow. If it does come down, our next support is probably like 420, and below 420, I have a lot of these removed right now, but below 420, 400. Anything below 400 would be pretty serious. Even below 420 is pretty serious, but 400 would be bad. declined to define what would constitute a new invasion. Knowing that Russian troops have been in the Donbass for years. The majority of gas used in EU comes from Russia. I'm aware. So OPEC's gamma ramp could be MOAS. It's, yeah, of course. Anytime the price rockets, that creates a potential for, you know, positions to be put at risk, right? Volatile climbs of the price of a stock can fuck up any positions that are, you know, well, at risk from a volatile climb in the stock. Please explain OPEX of puppets. I already did in the DD. Foreplay was puts, wasn't it? Yeah, I think so, but it was like I highlighted an entry at the bottom. Has your indicator found any stuff after sends, or not going to tell us because we will dumb into them? It has, but the plays that it's found have been like earnings bullshit. What's the latest Jan leaps can be covered? T minus 35. Play any role if they bought leaps and futures and price spiked last Jan and late Feb. Yeah, so we could see that play out like towards March 1st, but that's, you know, not, that has really nothing to do with OPEX. Talk a little about using UVXY instead of VIX contracts themselves. I noticed weird movement last week when SPX was chopping and trending down and UVXY moved, but VIX contracts barely moved. UVXY is 1.5 times as opposed to VIX, which is just what it tracks. Well, actually, I think UVXY tracks futures, right? Hold on. Let me double check that. Make sure I'm right. 1.5, yeah, short-term futures. It's 1.5 times the performance. So it's like a leveraged ETF. Whereas I don't think VXX is. I think VXX just tracks, yeah, short-term futures. So it's like that 0.5 of additional leverage windmill. Thanks for the great info and the sort of same place to hang and study the stock. Stay brighty. Have a good one. Later, cockroach. Why is everyone FOMOing into Sens? It was great, but the Switch has surpassed SNES. Thoughts on Nordstrom's? You think it'll keep consolidating until it's 3-1 earnings? I mean, theoretically, it should run on OPEX, along with DDS and all the other ones. Macy's, BBBY. I don't know. I don't know if you know this, but the reason I've been talking about IBKR is they offer instant settlement for options on cash accounts over $500. No GFEs or margin bullshit. More intraday leverage with small account. Yeah, I'm aware. But it's ugly. It's ugly as fuck. What's your reasoning for having both EMA 180 and EMA 200? Aren't they so close to the same thing to be worth a slot in your EMAs? I did it for GameStop, Stefan. Like, I have them on other stocks, but I did it for GameStop because GameStop had such low volume. Like, our low volume trend was ridiculous. We're trading like 1 million volume a day, and our 3-month average was declining rapidly. And so I wanted more visibility into those ranges. And they've been important in the past. I mean, the EMA 180 has been a bounce signal above the EMA 200 before. 180, yeah. And sometimes our volatility has dropped down to the 200, I think. Didn't that happen back in... Maybe it didn't. Maybe it was just 180. I think I just initially had 180. Yeah, you know what? I think I initially had 180, and then I added the 200 and the 250 in November, like after we started tanking below the 180. Personally, I think that Putin waited for a Trump administration to get up office so he could invade Ukraine because Joe Biden isn't wild enough to nuke people. I don't think Trump would have either. What type of platform does one build an indicator on? TradingView? You can put scripts into TradingView. Any collaborations? I mean, I don't like people, and they generally don't like me, so it's hard for me to get a collaboration. Actually, yes, I reached out to, or I'm reaching out to somebody who's the former counsel for the SEC and the DTCC. I'm gonna see if they want to come on the show and talk about stuff. Today's market close, no stream today, really made me realize how much more fun it is to shirk work responsibilities with all the degens in here every day. Thanks, Girk. Later, Tim. I bought a bunch of VXX calls Friday. Do you think dumping them right at open is best, or would you wait 15, 20 minutes? I mean, you can see how much they're up, and if there's a reversion. It's not like the VIX is just gonna tank. President Putin orders Defense Ministry to dispatch peacekeepers. Yeah, we know. How long do you expect CAT to channel? It looks like it follows market crash corrections. I mean, it likely will. So I don't know if it maintains the channel and the market doesn't crash, I'll hold my position and try to get some around that 190 mark. If it tanks, I'll just sell, right? Cut my losses. I also have IRNT calls this week. I think we finally see it rip bigly. Maybe. For VXX options, do you still prefer in the money calls in the near term? Would 318 be worth it given the volatility of the next few weeks versus theta decay? I use in the money calls for far dated contracts on those, big dilly style. Here are some digital $2 bills in honor of Lame Tuesday, and also as a thanks for staying after for those who got off work and have silly questions. Thanks, Subway. I appreciate it, dude. I never truly understood what you meant about Stefan's questions until today. I kind of want to claw my own ears off. That's fair. Thanks for the stream. Gotta go pump up my air mattress again. Smacks my head. Alright. No Mo Money collab? I doubt it. I personally like you for not liking people. Thanks, man. When are you gonna stop being lazy and make some stock content? Dude, it's such a bitch, and I'm so bad at it. Maybe I'll just... no, because that's not gonna... I don't know. I'm gonna make more. I mean, I have been really busy lately. I've had futures. That's been fucking everything up. I keep jumping in and out of Bitcoin like an idiot. I'm not saying Trump would or would not have, but I'm not worried about it. Stefan is he just wants to be a trader. Like, this is his life dream now. He's found his passion. I get it. I was kind of like him once, but less irritating. No, Stefan. I'm not doing Wyckoff yet. Just more options shit. All of the option stuff first. And then I'm going to teach people how to buy stock. GG said BTC going to crash again because of Super Bowl commercials and probably new crypto regulations in the pipe. Probably. I mean, I'm just like in and out of Bitcoin. I'm not like holding any right now. I volunteer myself as your guinea pig for school stock. If you can make me profitable, you can help anyone. That's a fucking challenge, man. How much will international markets affect us tomorrow? Jimmy took a little hit today, apparently. We'll see. We'll see what a lot of shit can happen in the next, fucking 12 hours. How much will internet? Salt like this is why I subscribe. I know you love it, Trash. Trading is for squares. Yeah, sure. Can you do reading open interest and volume on the options chain for school of stock? Like, what do you mean? Reading it? They're okay. Subway Cup. I know you trade a lot of options, so I'm gonna ask this question. Do you know what numbers are? Are you asking how to analyze open interest and volume? Terribly worded. Like how to assess the like what's going. The problem with it is that you're still guessing to an extent because you really can't tell even with good options data, or at least what's available to retail. It's still very hard to tell exactly what positions are being open and closed. You can get an idea of it mostly. I am favorite pirate. False. I'm gonna make dinner. See you in the morning. All right, later, Sparky. I'm a long-term investor now, according to the IRS. Oh, aren't you cool? Some of my shares are a year old now. It's neat. Some more, a lot more are about to be a year old, and I'm pretty excited about that. As long as we don't moass like hard in the next 4 days, then I'm good. You know what's gonna fucking happen is moass would kick off and like bigly, and then like the day before I had long-term capital gains on fucking 85% of my position. Where did Subway Cup go? I still don't know what you're asking me for. Girk never answered my parrot question. I didn't see it. Can you stay until 8 just to see how awkward it gets so you have nothing to talk about? Nope, I'm leaving in like 1 minute. Most of them are still short term still. Just selling the way down. Should have been a Roth for a while. Should have been on the Roth the whole time. I don't know. No. I'm not gonna live till retirement. I didn't murder him. Last in the next 4 days. Don't say that. I don't want Moas. Actually, it's two days. I don't want Moas to happen for the next 2 days. Am I your most hated pigeon whale? Absolutely not, VWAP Dancyple. Caw is the most hated pigeon whale to have, well, paper-handed bitch, but I want a 15-second video on School of Stock about how to buy stock with you just clicking the buy button on GMED. Subscribed and unliked. All right, guys. Thank you all for tuning in. I'll see you bright and early tomorrow morning for whatever may come. Have a good one.
Kenny's Mayonnaise is a proud sponsor of Pickle Financial, so when you get a hankering for some creamy, delicious mayo after a long night of snorting, sweating, and pacing, grab some Kenny's.
I'm not a cult, yo. Just some pickle theme fuckers, not a cult, no. Like them AMC suckers, not a cult.
Rico! Sit, Krian, sit. Good dog. Not an advisor. Frigulon.